First off, before I get Jessica on here, I am going to tell you the rules of the runway competition. So the runway competition is open to contestants of all ages. So that means our young ones, like 4 all the way up, every age division is allowed to do runway competition. Contestants ages 12 and over are required to wear an outfit that is black, white, or a combination of black and white. Okay? Any other colors will result in disqualification. Obviously, if you have like a little gold button here or there, that's fine, or silver, whatnot, but it can't be like huge chunks of it, right? You want it to be simple and things like that. Contestants in the age categories 4 to 7 and 8 to 11, you are allowed to wear an outfit of any color. Each contestant will walk the runway one time only. Okay. Contestants must not stop or turn in the middle of the runway. So no stopping. It's a straight walk. No dancing or constant posing will be permitted. And judging is based on your runway walk, your attitude, appropriateness, sense of style, and booking potential for fashion shows. All right. So, welcome, Jessica. I love having you here. We're so excited to have you at another CMTC. I thought maybe you could kind of introduce yourself. I find it's easier that way than me trying to ramble on about you. So you can introduce yourself, and then we'll kind of go from there.
Okay, so thank you so much. I just want to thank you and CMTC for having me as a guest. It's a blessing. So for those who don't know me, my name is Jessica Gregory. I'm a runway coach here based in Toronto, Ontario. And I've been training, I don't like to really say how long, but it's over a decade. So it's been a long time. And I've numerous amounts of models, males, females, whatever, I've trained them. So I've been training for a very long time, but seeing the transition from the models that I've trained, I train kids to teens, even to adults, plus-size models, etc. So I train a wide variety of models, and I've been doing it for so long that it's almost in a sense where you kind of master your craft, and that's what models do. They practice, they master their craft, and they have a great walk. So some of the girls I've taught, some of the guys I've taught, they didn't even know how to wear heels. They never owned a pair of heels. They don't know how to walk in general on their flat foot. So could you imagine? But seeing them now walking in shows for like Louis Vuitton, Dolce & Gabbana, Givenchy, it's a huge transition. So what I do is I just really prep the girls to make sure, the girls, the guys, everyone, to make sure that they're comfortable, not only walking in heels in general, but just walking. And that could be for females or males. So just making sure that the model's comfortable mentally, physically, emotionally. They're not too nervous. They're not too scared. It's tough, and it's a tough industry, but in order to get where you want to go, you have to make sure that you practice. So if you want more information, you can always go on my website. I won't steal too much, but if you go to the website, jessicagregory.com, you can find out more information.
So the first thing that I wanted to talk about was a runway walk for our 4 to 7 and 8 to 11-year-olds there. Jess? Yeah. Jessica?
Okay, so just a quick, one thing that you want to obviously do is ensure that the child is comfortable. You want to make sure that they're wearing comfortable clothing, something that they want to wear, and it could be bright colors. You just kind of want to show their personality, but nothing too loud, no huge earrings or anything accessorized or over the top, because it can be distracting looking at that, and the main focus should be the model, not what they're wearing. So that's why you want to like make sure that's limited. No logos, no signs, nothing like that. You're not promoting a brand. So you want to keep it really simple, and you want to make sure that they smile. So at that age, they're quite young. They're not high fashion models where they have that serious look. You want to ensure that the child is smiling at all times. They're practicing, they're walking down the runway, they're not running down the runway. That's very important. And with kids, they can be a little bit nervous. So either they're running or they're walking
like so fast.
So you want to make sure that the child is actually seen versus they're forgotten because they just flew off the runway. You'll remember the fact that they went quickly, but you want to make sure that they get a fair spot in terms of the competition, that they're actually seen. So walking, making sure that they have a good pace, smiling, and when they're posing, it's very important that they don't do anything dramatic. I know the dance moves and the high poses and the hand gestures, it's not necessary. You just want a simple pose at the end, hold for like 3 seconds, and then you walk off. So what you're doing is you're pretty much displaying who you are, but keep everything very simple, not over the top.
Perfect. Yeah, so big smiles, that's what we want to see for our young ones, for sure. Good speed, no running, everybody, okay?
No.
Yeah. And also like not going too slow. Like sometimes they get on there and they're like and then they kind of like really slowly walk. So just keeping a good pace like they normally do when they're walking down the street. That's what we're looking for. Awesome.
I guess it can be nervous. So if you are nervous, just prep yourself before. Everyone gets nervous. If you're not nervous doing something before you get out there, then something's wrong.
Mm-hmm. So. And I always say too that we have such like crazy lighting at CMTC on the runway that you don't really see anybody, and like most people don't realize this when, especially when they're backstage, you don't see anybody in the audience when you're up on the runway. So really you're just walking. So remind your kids of that they're just going to be walking down the runway and there's nothing, like they're not really going to see anybody on the sides or anything like that. And then to a good runway walk for 12 plus for the females. So anyone that's 12 years old and up.
So 12 and up, first and foremost, I would suggest that when you are practicing, you practice not once, but daily. In order to really, pretty much, you want to create a signature walk. So in order to get that, you have to practice literally till your feet are swollen, blisters, whatever it takes. You have to put in the groundwork in order to make sure that your walk is great. You also want to ensure that you're confident. So the more you practice, and this is with anything, whether it be a job, whether being in school, the more you practice doing something, you'll get better at it. If you do something last minute and you don't do it often enough, you'll have more anxiety, you'll get a little bit less confident. So confidence is key, so you need that. So therefore, you need to start practicing sooner than later. And when you do practice, pace yourself. So what happens is a lot of the times the models are so nervous that just like the kids, they tend to walk really fast. And it happens, and it's common, especially if it's the first time you're really exposed to a runway. So just practice in different environments, practice in front of people you don't know. If you're in a shopping mall, listen, if this is something you really want, you need to take yourself out of that comfort zone versus doing it the day of CMTC. At least you're a little bit more comfortable doing it in front of people you don't know beforehand. So practice, making sure that you have confidence, and walking at a gradual pace is very important. When you're walking and posing at the end, keep it really simple. You don't want to do anything over the top, the same thing I mentioned for the kids. Just really simple pose for 3 seconds. And when you are walking, for the females, just to give you a little tip, but when you come to CMTC, you'll get the information there, but walk with one foot in front of the other. That's the biggest thing I can really tell you is walk one foot in front of the other and walk without and with heels on. You notice when you walk without heels before you actually put them on, it seems a little bit easier, but I'm not going to give you too many tips. I'll see you at CMTC, so you'll get the information for those attending. But for the females, walking in heels. For the males, just walk comfortable. Don't bring your shoulders too forward. You look a little stiff. You just really want to keep it simple, and you want to be yourself. So with the runway competition, what's going to shine is your personality. Not your clothes, your personality. So you really want to bring it when you own it. Not every model's walk is the same. So you have to create your own signature walk. You're not going to walk like Coco Rocha or another model. You're going to walk like yourself. You're not going to walk like Giselle Bündchen. You're going to walk like yourself. It's a signature walk. It's correct, but it works for you. And in terms of attire, keep in mind that the stage is a little bit higher than the audience. So just remember that. So when you're wearing clothing, I would say all black, or it can be black and white, a white top, black pants. I wouldn't suggest tights for females, just saying. For heels, I would suggest you wear something that's comfortable. So yes, you should know how to walk in 3 inches or higher, but if you can't, you should not be wearing 3 inches or higher. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yep.
And you're not going to walk the best if you're wearing something that you're not comfortable with. So that's why I'm advising everyone to walk and practice as much as possible in the shoe, the more or less that you'll be wearing for the competition. Don't buy the same day. That's not a good idea. But you want to make sure that you're prepared, because the more prepared, like I said, the easier it is for you to feel comfortable and confident. So clothing-wise, all black, shoes included, not white shoes, even though I said black and white, but black shoes obviously is a little bit more standard. And tight fitted clothing, something that really shows your silhouette and your shape. You don't want to wear anything too big because they can't really tell, the judges. And when you're wearing or buying shoes, you don't want to wear wedges. I think, to be honest, if it's something that you're comfortable in, great, but try your best to wear more of a stiletto heel. For the guys, make sure that you're wearing clean, I don't want to emphasize clean shoes. It's very important that you have clean shoes. Therefore, more or less, it's probably new, but you kind of worked it in just for the competition. Ripped jeans, it still shows your personality in a sense, so I wouldn't say there's nothing wrong with not wearing ripped jeans. That's okay.
Yeah.
But just wear something comfortable. Honestly, some of the girls, they really have a great walk. Some of the guys have a great walk. They put shoes on, or they're too tight, or they're too high, and it literally takes away from the whole experience and the whole look of that model's walk.
Yeah.
So just being prepared, yeah.
Like sometimes, exactly. You want to be comfortable in what you're wearing. Sometimes I find girls will wear skirts that almost like ride up when they walk, and then they have a great walk, and then as they're walking, they're like trying to pull it down, and it just throws everything off. So you really want to like try your outfit on. Again, for the 12 plus, guys and girls, it's black, white, or a combination of black and white. And you really do want to try your outfit on, try it with your shoes, and walk, be practicing, and see if there's anything that is happening. Like, oh, does my shirt move or shift, and I'm going to be uncomfortable on stage with it. Like, you really want to practice that at home. I did see a comment about the height. So 5'10", should they still wear heels? I'll leave this one to you.
Oh, yeah. Well, technically, think about it, most models are tall, so 5'10" is technically standard, so definitely wear heels.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Did we?
And then you also asked if black pants or a dress. It's generally you it says, do you recommend black pants over a black dress? If it's something that you're comfortable wearing, if you're more comfortable wearing pants, wear pants. If you're more comfortable wearing a dress, wear a dress. At the end of the day, if you do a show, if you're going to castings and they mention that it's recommended that you wear a dress, you can wear the dress. It's not to say you're not comfortable in it, but wear something that you're comfortable in, because at the end of the day, that makes it makes a huge difference. So if it's recommended, fine. If it's not, wear what's comfortable.
And Jessica answered the heel question. She recommends about 3 inches or up, but you need to be comfortable in walking in them.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you're not, then don't.
Yes. Don't try and walk in 3-inch heels your very first time at CMDC and it throws your entire walk. If you have an amazing walk and you can only walk in flats, wear the flats. Go with it.
Sparkles
on the shoe, like it's on a strap, that would probably be fine. It's not a super common runway shoe though, and if you end up getting booked for runway shows, sometimes you do have to wear your own shoes. So I might try to invest into a good pair of runway shoes that don't really have a strap on them. Keep them black.
You should have options. Like you should have stilettos. You should have a shoe with straps. You should have a shoe that's a thicker heel because it's easier to walk in. But you can wear that to a casting and then take that off. But try your best to make sure that you have a variety, not just one. Because God forbid that one heel breaks, you have nothing.
Yeah, for sure. And then I saw a question about 5'7". If you're 5'7" and then you end up putting a 3-inch heel on, you're about 5'10". So realistically, you're still a great height for a runway. So 5'7" is a great height to still get on the runway. Again, for our little kids, it doesn't really matter what your height is because they're little. Lifestyle too, our older models, it's not crazy about necessarily their height because you can get booked for more commercial shows or more like mall showcases and things like that. So that height doesn't really matter. Heel boots. Yeah, you could wear a heel boot. Yeah.
You can wear it, but like if you want to practice, put it like this. Chances are you're going to wear stilettos for the most part. So practice wearing them. It just makes more sense. And I've seen my daughter turns 12 before the event. Does she have to wear heels? She doesn't have to if she's not comfortable wearing it. Because keep in mind, like, if you're not that comfortable, it's a lot of pressure also on your ankles, and you don't really want to injure yourself if you're not confident or comfortable wearing something. So my advice is just to wear something that's comfortable.
I like these questions about the facial expression. Can we kind of touch on facial expression, like if the difference between more of a commercial smile and more high fashion, like who you are and what you should kind of go with? I don't know.
So facial expressions, you kind of want to create the same thing in terms of your walk. It's like a blank canvas. So you don't want to look like a deer con headlight, and you don't want to look like you're trying to be too sexy, but it's just not working. So you just want to keep it really simple, have a focal point. So based on the light, it's quite bright, so you're not going to look directly at it. But just keep your eyes focused on the back of the wall that's in front of you. So at least you have a focal point instead of being distracted by what's around you. And then just look straight. What happens is sometimes you get so nervous that your eyes do brighten, so you're walking like this and you're like, oh my God. And you're so nervous, you just have to tone it down and just remember you're just walking down the street. It's nothing serious. You're doing a competition. Just be yourself. So just keep your eyes how you normally would look on a regular day. You just want to have like more of a serious look. It has to be a little bit strong, but don't squint. There's a difference between having a serious look and squinting.
Yep.
And I just wanted to ask you, Megan, too, because I know sometimes with glasses, is it like they can wear glasses if they want.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't see without the glasses,
wear them. Definitely wear the glasses if you can't see without them. If you can see without your glasses, I recommend removing them because it does create a glare on your eyes. And really, your facial expression is something that really does, your face in general sells you. So you do want to be able to see it. And if there's just a big glare, that's kind of problematic sometimes too. I'm seeing a lot about makeup and hair. We're not looking for runway makeup. Okay. We're still looking for basic makeup. You might want to add like a little bit more of it just because you are in high lighting. But I'm not asking you, and neither is CMDC, to come with like crazy runway makeup. That's not it at all. We still want you to look fresh and we still want you to look like you, but it just needs to be maybe you add a little bit more highlighter or a little bit more whatever contour because of the lighting. Again, it doesn't need to be crazy. It's just going to, you don't want to look like something, you don't want to look washed out when you're up there either. So you definitely got to keep that in mind. And for hair, I find it's really like, I don't know, Jessica, do you think up is better, down? I don't think it really matters really to me, but you would know more.
It doesn't really matter. You just don't want to have it in your face.
Mm-hmm.
If you have bangs, that's a little bit different. But even for the guys, like you don't want to have it covering any part of your face. For the girls, lifestyle doesn't matter. Kids, you just want to make sure that your face is visible. Generally, it's either down or up, so you have options. Or you'll notice like some models will part it in the middle and then it's looking down, or they're having really sleek, but don't come in with like bedhead or messy. You kind of have to look put together without doing too much or looking over the top because you want to keep it simple. Mm-hmm. Less is
for sure. I love that. Yeah, and again, it's all about being comfortable. You don't want to be walking down the runway doing like this, like because your hair keeps falling in your face or you can't see. And so, again, practice with the hairstyle that you're going to have and see what happens. We're not going to be talking about bikini today. We do talk about that at a later date. I have what's your best tip for nerves and confidence for castings and shows?
The one thing that I do, for instance, and I also train the models to do, is be prepared. Nice. Whenever you do something, if you're not prepared, that's when your nerves really hit you. So you have a lot of time to practice now. My advice is watch a lot of runway videos, get coaching if it's within your means and you can afford it. Practice your craft, practice every single day. There's different tips and tricks, and I also place tips on my Instagram page every single Tuesday. Something that I do make mention of it, but it's not too detailed. So practicing is very important, and then practicing in front of people and not in front of people, and wearing heels, not wearing heels, and getting opinions and advice of others. But just watching runway shows is a huge step because you're kind of seeing where you want to be and you're putting yourself in that position. So it's also like you gotta be prepared and you gotta know what you're doing and then taking on what you're seeing and applying it to your walk. So just practicing, being prepared, making sure your hair is done, make sure you have this done and that done so that it's not a distraction when you walk out there. You know that you came prepared and you're ready to walk the runway.
And what about males? Do male teens need to be muscular?
No. And every market's different too. So muscular. If you're not muscular, you're not muscular. That has nothing to do in terms of selecting a model. And if you do go on different like agency websites, you'll see that there's a variation. There's no specific in terms of size. One thing I would say is, yes, make sure that you're being healthy, you're taking care of yourself, and you're working out, because that's a regimen that you need to apply regardless, because you want to be living healthy, but you don't have to be big in terms of your physique. You don't have to have super muscles. If you're slim, you're slim. Some people are born that can't change the way you are, and you have to really embrace who you are. Remember, you're selling yourself, not what someone else is giving you.
Perfect. And then again, more questions about the hair and makeup. You want to keep it natural, but if you want to put a light curl in your hair, again, you can. Like Jessica said, it is kind of like a put together look, but not that you've put like a crazy amount of effort into it. Does that make sense?
Like, if you have an afro, wear an afro. That's who you are. If your hair is a bob, wear it with the bob. It doesn't have to have a part in the middle. You have to. What we're trying to emphasize is you have to be yourself, because you're selling yourself. You're not selling anything else. You're selling yourself. You want them to see your true you. You don't want to look in the mirror and like, oh my God, what did I do to myself? This is not me, and I'm walking out here and I'm in this competition. You have to maintain that look. So if you have to maintain a certain look, be yourself. When I mentioned not a lot of makeup, you don't want a lot of makeup on, because you want to create a blank canvas. So if I'm an agent, or if I'm someone at CMTC, I see you and there's so much makeup on your face, it's hard to peel that off to really see the true you. So less is more. And even for the guys, like when you're getting yourself prepared, don't go too over the top and like split the hair. It's not necessary. Like, it's not prom. You're not dressing up for a wedding. That's serious. So just really keep it simple. And the main thing for the guys, like, I don't know how to emphasize it anymore, clean shoes, please. That's the main thing, because they look at your feet, your shoes. The way you take care of yourself is very important, and you can see it in your clothing. Make sure that your clothes are pressed. They're not like wrinkled.
Yeah.
It's just, and no white dress. I've seen someone say, someone mentioned, should I wear a white dress? I wouldn't recommend a white dress.
Okay, nice. Yeah. I saw earlier, but I forgot to bring it back to that question. What happens for the 4 to 7, 8 to 11-year-olds if they do not walk? Like if they get up there and they don't walk, what do we do? That question kind of came up. I'm going to answer it now. We encourage as much as we can. We are backstage to kind of get them onto the stage, and then if they're on there, they most of the time will look back at us, and then we encourage them. A lot of times too, it's happened like maybe there's like 1 or 2 kids a year that this happens to, where everyone just kind of starts like cheering in the audience, and the agents are even like, okay, come on, and then we get them to walk down. Most of the time they all walk down, and there is no issues at all. Like it, and we definitely encourage it to happen and to go. So we definitely do our best to try and get them down there and to have fun. And we do have the great workshops before the runway competition. There are 2 at CMTC. There were 2 at CMTC. There's a 12 plus one that's taught by Jessica. So you will actually get up to be on the runway and try everything, and Jessica will give you more tips. And then there is a younger one for the 4 to 7 and 8 to 11-year-olds. Again, these are great options and workshops that you're going to go. You're going to get one-on-one attention from Jessica. She's going to really help you guys. She's great. She gives more tips there. And then you get the chance to walk on the runway. So again, for the younger ones, this is a great opportunity for them to get on the runway, see what it's all about, and see that it's not scary at all. Mm-hmm.
It's not. And I'll make sure you smile. You'll be fine.
Perfect.
A black and white striped dress, I wouldn't wear that.
Okay.
The only reason when you guys are wearing outfits for a competition, solid. So a solid white top, a solid black top, solid black pants. If it's a dress, a solid black dress. Not white, but you want to make sure that it's a solid color. And especially if it's horizontal, you might look a little bit wider than you appear, so you don't want to do that.
Perfect. Hair tattoos. Hair tattoos. Is that like where it's like shaved out? Is that what a hair tattoo is? Austin? Is that what a hair tattoo is? It's like when it's like shaved, like shaving into your hair? Well, if that's what it is and that's what you normally have, then I would say, like, yes, go for it. If you normally don't have that and you're going to do that just for CMTC, then don't do it, because we want, and all the agents and judges and everyone wants to see what you normally like look like. So yes. All right, Austin, did that answer your question? Perfect. Jessica, do you have anything else to kind of talk about your overall? I feel like you kind of answered everything. Anything else that you want to talk about before we go?
Well, I know someone asked, what's your advice for, like, I guess, nerves and confidence? Growing up, I never had confidence, so I get when it comes to some of the models, they're like, this is tough, like, am I good enough? You can't really second guess yourself because it starts from a mental state. So whatever you're doing, whether you're doing this competition or just life itself, you have to make sure that you're not really living up to someone else's expectations, you're living up to your own. I'm hard on myself, I get it, but at the same time, you kind of know how to overcome that. Don't allow other people to dictate how far you can come. So, for instance, if you're going to go out for a competition, you want to be confident. You just have to feel confident first, because your nerves are going to get the best of you right away. So just feel confident, relax, breathe, because listen, when I go on the stage for CMTC, I am nervous, sweating, full. It's insane, because if I'm not nervous, I feel like I'm doing something wrong, but that's just me. So the nerves will get to you, but you've got to get over it, because I'm sure that anyone that's ever done anything, whether it be a celebrity, a model, they do get nervous. So it's common. Don't feel like you're the only one. It's actually very common, to be honest with you, because I was nervous coming on here. But obviously I'm okay. So you just really want to kind of get out the nerves. Just practice and prepare yourself. I don't have to emphasize it anymore, but it makes a huge difference. Just practice. Ask questions. People actually answer it. The same way we're doing this live now, we're answering questions that you guys are asking. But if you don't ask, you'll never really know. And there's a quote that this one girl always says. She's like, I'll do the things that others don't to achieve the things that others won't. If you don't do something, regardless of how nervous you may feel, regardless if you're scared to do it, you'll never know the outcome unless you do it. So it doesn't matter what someone's going to tell you, that you're not good enough or you probably shouldn't do it, you're not tall enough, you're not skinny enough, you don't look like this, you're not this, you're that. That's their opinion, and that's all that it is. So go against that, be yourself, ask questions, and do whatever you want to do, because at the end of the day, you have to look yourself in the mirror and be happy with the person that you see looking back at you.
Awesome. I love that advice. That's great. I do see a few questions that I can kind of answer about. Jessica, you might have a different point on it about tattoos and body piercings. I say if it's body piercings, well, for runway swimsuit, I would maybe recommend removing if you have a belly button piercing or whatnot. But again, we'll talk more about that in the swimsuit competition. For tattoos, I read a question, should they cover them? I don't think so, because when an agent wants you anyways, they're going to see the tattoo. So they need to kind of know about it regardless if you have them or not. You know what I mean? So that's my advice. I wouldn't cover it because then later on it just almost seems like you were trying to hide it and things like that. And tattoos are more acceptable in our industry nowadays than they used to be. So I definitely don't see it as a problem that you would want to cover it for any reasons. And piercings, you do want to have, you can wear earrings if you want. I saw that about small studs. You can definitely do that. I wouldn't wear anything too glitzy or too glammy because again, it takes away from you. And I remember if we go back to our TV commercial live session when Ray was like, you're just adding more things that could go wrong, right? Where maybe the light reflects off the earrings crazy or something like that. So you want to keep it simple and you want to keep it simple, I guess, is my only other answer for that. Awesome. What about the nose? Like a piercing? If it's like you can remove it.
Yeah, so it's not a big deal.
Yeah. Awesome.
What do I think about while walking on the runway? That I'm owning it. So when you're out there walking, you're owning it, and you're selling the designer's garment, and that's all that really matters. But it's almost like walking down the street. Like, I think a lot of people think too much about the walk, and like there's so many elements to it, and I get that. But it's like anything. When you're going to school, it may be challenging, but you get over it. Once you get comfortable doing something, then it becomes so easy. But if you don't practice your craft, it's going to be very difficult.
Awesome. So I think that's it for the night, guys. Jessica, I'll let you go. I'm just going to finish up with kind of what's going to happen next week. But thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, we're so excited to have you at CMTC and for all these workshops coming up with you at CMTC. I'm very excited.
Awesome. And if you guys need anything, questions, you can go on JG Runway Coach on Instagram or Twitter, and you can also go to my website, www.jessicagregory.com, and send me any questions you may have. But I wish you all the best of luck, and make sure you practice.
Awesome. And I'll send everything Jessica just said about all of her information, her contact information, her Instagram and everything. I'll send that in my email on Friday, guys. So in case you missed it or you can't get it or you forget what it is, I'll send it out on Friday. Awesome. Thanks, Jessica.
Bye, everyone.
Night. Awesome. So just before we finish up, next week is cover and commercial print competition. So we will be talking about the cover and commercial print competition. I also want to remind everyone that your headshot photos are due on February 1st. You can submit your photos before February 1st. We did talk all about the headshot photos in our first live session, and I know some mail has gone out about that. If you're not sure you're in runway competition or you want to add runway competition, you can reach out to registration at cmtc.ca. Next week is cover and commercial print competition, so we will be talking about that. And that's it. Have a great night, everyone. And I'm excited to see everyone at CMTC 2019. Woo! All right, everyone. Have a great night. Bye.